Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Crypto Trading. This is your host, Crypto Trader, aka Jonas, and welcome on this Friday. Start before the weekend, so hopefully everybody's having a great day. But if you haven't done so already and you're a new-time viewer, welcome, and don't forget to click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification, and stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. And this link is shared on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. And if you are watching this from any of those platforms, welcome, and thank you for your support. We do appreciate it. And for a majority of you that do know, because you guys have been on these live streams for a while, Crypto Traders Room is a place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. And just a little disclaimer before we get started, and I've been kind of missing out on these little disclaimers, and that's just to inform everybody that I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and what I do talk about on these live streams is to not be used as a trading advice. And if that is something you're looking for, you definitely want to consult a licensed professional advisor, and definitely do your due diligence. Just because I get into a trade, doesn't mean that it's the best trade for you. So definitely please do your own research, do your own diligence before you actually risk your hard-earned money into this wild west of a cryptocurrency market that we are having. And we'll cover this craziness that we're currently seeing, and just how crazy, how manipulated it is on a day-to-day basis. So, I mean, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy crypto space that we deal with. Breck, Godfred, J-Lo 2, Oni, Daniel, welcome. Appreciate you guys joining. Appreciate you guys commenting. You guys are awesome. But yeah, hopefully everybody's having a great start to the weekend. Guess that cat was playing dead. Yeah, that is the longest sustained cat bounce I've seen. But I mean, we're looking at the one-day chart on this. I mean, look at this candlestick yesterday. I mean, this is crazy, going from 2250 all the way to 2950. In one day. I mean, they panic sold this thing down. They manipulated it from that 2,900 all the way down to 1,758, or, depending on what platform you're looking at, it could be a little different. Maybe 1,800 was what it touched, but on GDAX, it did touch that 1,758 and 28 cents, or 20 cents, of course. I mean, they dropped it. They manipulated it. They spread that fear, and people panicked and sold and caused that price to drop to 1,758. But I mean, within 4 days, it goes up just close to its all-time high. I mean, 29.57. Let's just say that is an all-time high. 47 bucks or whatever it is, 43 bucks for BTC to go up as a drop in a bucket. It's nothing. So we might as well say that it hit an all-time high because it got very close to it. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy how easily they can manipulate this thing and how easily they can create that fear. And a lot of people just kind of fall for that trap and they sell and they panic. And then now they're probably wishing that they actually bought back in. So, hopefully nobody on this live stream was, somebody that panicked because of this. Hopefully you had a strong stomach and a strong hand and didn't give in to their manipulation. But yeah, it's a crazy world. Tracy, Crypto Never Sleeps. Brandon Kelly, Crypto Trader. Oh, dude, thank you for your support, bud. I appreciate it, man. I was on your live stream yesterday just for a little bit, but then I had the kids acting up. They were basically going at it, so I had to kind of jump off. But man, yeah, thank you for your support, man. I appreciate it, and definitely looking forward to that live stream that you and I are going to do. Hopefully we'll get that coordinated and whatnot. But dude, awesome, man. And if you guys haven't had a chance yet, definitely click on Brandon Kelly's name and subscribe to his channel. I mean, he's got a very fast-growing channel. I think you're way over 7,000 subscribers. I don't even know if you probably hit 8,000 yet, but yesterday, man, you're killing it. 416 viewers was what I kind of saw on your live stream, and I put a comment out there. I'm like, 416, that's awesome. Let's get this up to 1,000. You definitely deserve 1,000 viewers on your live stream. So maybe that's something we'll work on, you and I, when we actually get together and do this collaboration. Kofi, welcome. Daniel again. Oni, you are the man. Yeah, Dead Tiger bounce. Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. I've never seen this thing. I've never seen anything like this jump this high, this fast, and it's way too quick. And I'm surprised it hasn't even corrected further back down to 2,500. That is still hovering in that 27.68. So I mean, it's still up $1,000. From its low of 17.58. So I mean, that's just a pretty crazy increase to the upside. Yeah, dude, Brandon, glad to have you on this, man. You and I need to definitely support each other, and great minds think alike is what I when I wrote you a message on Facebook. So, you know, you and I kind of think alike and kind of see the market, you know, for what it really is, and not feeding into the hype or the FOMO. PK, welcome. Dylan, great to have you on here, buddy. Thank you so much. Russian England, 31. But yeah, we got a good amount of people on here, so thank you so much. I do appreciate this. But yeah, let's go ahead and cover exactly, you know, what's been happening with this crazy market that we've all love and hate at the same time. You know, because you know, sometimes we wish we were in, and sometimes we wish we were out. But yeah, that's really, you know, to go all in is not the way to play this. You really got to scale in and also scale out. Nobody can catch the bottom. Nobody can say, you know, where the bottom is. But, you know, when this thing came down, and I really wasn't looking at the one-day chart on this, but, you know, it got close to that 200-day moving average. And a lot of traders will kind of, you know, look at that and see exactly if it's going to touch it and, you know, possibly take an entry at that 200-day moving average, depending where the support is. And there was definitely a lot of support in that range there. But, you know, for it to go up, you know, I mean, $1,200, you know, it's only going to come down just as fast. So you guys definitely got to be very, very, very careful. If you don't already have a position in this and you're looking to take a position, I personally wouldn't take a position in this. You know, I mean, they've manipulated this thing to the upside. They're going to manipulate it to the downside. So you really got to kind of think outside the box, and not let that that FOMO kick in, because I know a lot of people are like, you know, I need to jump in. And I've always said this before. It's always better to wish that you were in a trade than to wish you were actually out of that trade. So the last thing you want to do is chase something and then it dips on you and then you're wishing you were out. You know, if you wanted to get in, you know, you should have been looking at this under 2,000. You know, when it hit 18,000, hits, you know, 1750. That's really when you should have been buying little increments to see exactly what it's going to do and kind of get your feet wet, have a little bit of skin in the game. You know, if you don't get a little bit of skin in the game, especially as it's dropping, you know, for these crazy upticks that we are seeing, you know, within a 4-day period, you know, you're going to end up missing out. I didn't take advantage of this. You know, I was in LTC, and I finally got out of LTC at, you know, 45, and I wanted to get out at 48, but I kind of lowered my my price to 46 just so I had a little bit of capital. But I'm completely out of LTC right now, so I do have majority of my funds freed up in USD on Bitfinex. So we'll see. You know, I do have a couple orders in. They're mainly for the cheap coins, and you know, I'll put in the low ball offer. So for IOTA, 10 cents, for SAND, 10 cents. Now, they're not going to stay on there. It's just usually before I go to bed, you know, I'll put those lowball offers in the hopes that it does execute. But I'll still be looking at LTC today. You know, if LTC can get to that $40 range, that's a great entry for me to take a position in. And I think that's what I do have GDAX set to, $40. You know, to purchase 50. And if it does dip below $40, you know, I still have some capital left over. So I'm not going all in. And that's really the wrong way of playing some of these trades. You don't want to go all in, because if it does dip on you, then you don't have any extra funds available to kind of lower that cost average. My last trade, I bought at $44. You know, I bought 25 LTCs at $44. Yeah, that was kind of high. I didn't buy a lot. I only bought 25, and I still had tons of funds left over to kind of average down. And then when it dipped to 41, I bought another 25, so that lowered my cost average to 42.50. And I should have, you know, I wasn't in front of my monitor to kind of pay attention to that drop to 34.78, $35. But I would have definitely taken advantage of that 38 and then $35 drop, and then I would have probably had, you know, double the amount that, or a little more than double the amount that I've had, and I had 50. So that's the best way of playing them, is just to get your feet wet, purchase a little bit, see what it does. If it keeps dipping on you, you know, you use the funds that you have to lower that cost average. But yeah, and it worked out to my advantage. Yes, I only had 50, but you know, I was able to sell at $45, and I was also able to sell at $46 from a cost average of 42.50. Let me get to some of these comments, and then we'll definitely analyze Litecoin, because I believe Litecoin is definitely gearing up for a crazy bounce. But she needs to break that 57 on GDAX. But yeah, let me see. I'll try to get to these comments as best as I can. You know, if you definitely want me to get to the comment, use emojis, because then it'll definitely stand out. And yeah, you know, smash that like button. If you do find this information helpful, definitely hit that like button. If you're a new-time viewer, click on that subscribe button, as well as post notifications, so you're not missing any of these live streams that I schedule. And sometimes I do spur of the moment type of live streams if something crazy is happening within the market and I have the time to be able to do it. So unless you click on that post notification, you won't see, you won't get the notification that I am actually scheduling a live stream. Russian England already subbed. Dude, that's awesome. Thumbs up to that, man. Is this institutional investing? It's big whales. It's people with a lot of money. So whether institutions are involved in this or not, I mean, I can't give you a definite answer. I don't think any of us would know exactly who's pumping tons of money into this market. But yeah, it's definitely somebody with a lot of money, and someone with a lot of money and a group of people with a lot of money can control this market. They can get it to dip to wherever they want it to dip, and I mean, they got Ethereum or Ether to dip to 130. I was looking for that $100. At $100, I would have definitely bought some. But I think they knew people were stacked up at that psychological level of 100, and they were like, we're not going to bring it down to 100. We'll bring it down to 130, and we'll start buying back up, kick that FOMO in. And what do you know? It went up to 258, 260. 100% return. That's just insane. It's crazy. Yeah, these whales are definitely, they're playing games. They're manipulating the market. Convert BTC to USDT. Yeah, I mean, you might be a little bit safe in USDT, but you also got to consider that USDT is an altcoin. Yes, it's pegged to the US dollar. It's supposed to be one-on-one ratio, but it's never one-on-one ratio. I mean, I've seen it dip to as low as like 92, 93, and then it's been as high as 108. I haven't really followed it recently, but it does tend to fluctuate. But at this time of uncertainty, with a lot of things happening, yeah, a lot of people might be going into USDT, and that could cause the price to actually go up above $1. But you're still in an altcoin. You got to remember that it's still a risk. Whatever your USDT is valued that day that you decide to convert it to, might not be the actual value tomorrow or the day after that. Whereas in USDT, the value of $1 is $1, so that you're not going to wake up and be like, oh, that dollar is now worth 70 cents. You're still able to utilize that dollar to be able to purchase whatever it is that you want to invest in or trade. So what do we do now? I don't know in regards to what. You got to be a little more specific, Kristen. Doesn't seem like we'll make a new all-time high. For it to get to 29.58, I mean, come on. It was just $43 shy. 42 bucks shy of basically getting to that all-time high. So they basically almost brought it up to its all-time high. That's kind of the way I look at it. Brandon, thank you so much, man. Yeah, dude. When I first saw you, man, I clicked on your video. I was like, man, this guy's he's got something going on. I mean, he's got something good going on, and he definitely built that customer base, man. That subscriber base, huge, huge. So, yeah, shout outs to you. And like I said, if anybody hasn't subscribed, to Brandon Kelly, that's on my channel. Definitely, click on his channel, subscribe, check out his live stream. It's awesome. But yeah, thanks for the support, Brandon. Appreciate it, man. And you guys got to remember too, if you do have any Bitcoins on CoinDAS or on CoinDAS on Coinbase, they are going to be freezing withdrawals as well as transfers. Trading is going to be halted, so you will not be able to do anything at all with your BTC. And when the hard fork does happen, they're not going to give you the split coin. You're going to be stuck with only one coin and the coin that they support, and that's this BTC core. Yeah, there's definitely a lag. And I wish there wasn't, but yeah, it's, we're dealing with, I'm a hardwire too. So, I mean, it really shouldn't be a lag. And I think in the settings, I indicated, for it to not have a lag at all between the stream and what you guys are able to see. So yeah, occasionally there will be a little bit of a lag. But yeah, let's get to LTC, because yeah, looking at this BTC chart is just, it kind of irritates me, to be honest with you. How crazy that they can just manipulate it and shake people out. They shook them out, and then they cause them to kind of FOMO in again and buy at a higher price. So like I said, hopefully that was nobody here. Yeah, don't chase anything. Let it come to you. Be patient with it. That's when you're gonna end up losing money. Stick to your plan. Have a plan of execution. Have a plan of exit, and stick to that plan. And the more that you stick to that plan, the more consistent that you are, the better that you're going to see those returns. But let's take a look at LTC though, because LTC, I believe, is going to be gearing up for a nice run. And I try to glance over at these comments as best as I can. But like I said, if I do miss your comment, I apologize. I apologize. But yeah, this is great. I mean, this is for long-term investors. So if you are a long-term investor, really, you should not be looking at, you shouldn't even be looking at the 1 hour chart, to be honest with you. Unless you're looking to exit out of your position. When you're ready to exit out of your position, that's when you want to start looking at a smaller time frame. But if you're a long-term investor, long-term hodler, you want to be looking at the 1 day chart, kind of glance at it, see what it does. But yeah, don't pay too much attention to it because these dips will cause you to panic out. So anybody that was a long-term investor and saw this thing going to 57.75 and decided that they were not going to take profit at that 57.75 because greed takes control. And they saw it dipping down to, what was it, 34.78 on GDAX. They might have panicked. So the best thing to do is just kind of look at the 1 day chart, occasionally here and there. Look at the trend line, it's trending up, you're good to go. I wouldn't worry anything about this as a long-term investor at all because the trend still looks good. If CryptoWatch doesn't screw up with me. Trend still looks good. The trend is not breaking down at all. So as a long-term investor, this is probably one of the best charts to ever look at. And you don't have these crazy dips like you do on BTC. But yeah, that's really all you need to look at. You know what? We're on an uptrend. We're above the 200. We're above the 100. We're above the 50. And basically our small moving average, which is probably the 9 days or 7 days that I have it set to, is getting ready to cross over the 10 or 18 day moving average. Let's see what I have that set to. 5, 10, 50, 100, and 200. So, basically, you're above the 200, 150 day moving average. So, as a long-term investor, really nothing to worry about. You guys are sitting well. You guys are sitting good. And I wish I bought this, in the fours when I was talking about it and saying, I'm not buying this because it's just going to go up 20 cents, 30 cents, and then come back down. Little did we know, going from 4 to 57.75. Within a very short period of time. And that's a scary thing about these cryptocurrency market is that they're just going up so fast. This was basically in April that it started. So April, May, June, July hasn't even ended yet. But, within 4 months, getting a return from $4 to 57.75. Yeah, learn to lock in those profits because this is not going to keep going up and up and up and up. End of the year target is, yes, 100. That is the end of the year target that I gave for Litecoin. And it's definitely attainable. We've seen this thing run up, 60%, 70%, I think 90% at one point it had run up. And that's a huge increase for it. And yes, and it could do that with the right tweets that are coming out with Charlie Lee. And, I'm a little leery about that MIT thing. I don't want to spread any FUD out there, to cause people to buy this, but I firmly believe that could be a true story. It just happened to leak out, and they didn't want it to leak out already. So I believe somehow, some way, that is a true story, but they're trying to bury it. They're trying to hide it for right now, because imagine what it would do, if it was true. Litecoin would already be at $100. So. I'm going to try to monitor that and follow that as best as I can to see if there is any news that comes out of it. But yeah, if anybody does hear of anything about it, definitely let me know. But I firmly believe that was not fake news, that was real news. It just happened to be leaked out accidentally. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at this on a shorter time frame for actual day traders, and plot out some support and resistance. And then we can take a look at the probability of the support and resistance being likely. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're not. Just because I plot out some support and resistance, and then when I actually go and look at the order book, yeah, it's like, there's no support at that level at all. And it looks like I got to get out of here and do maybe a 1 hour chart. All right, 2 hours it looks like. So 2 hour candlestick. So basically what I mean by that is that each candle kind of represents a 2 hours worth of price action, whether it's to the upside or downside. But each candle will basically be active for 2 hours, and then it'll switch over for another 2 hours. Same thing with a daily candle. Each candle is basically 1 day's worth of price action if you're looking at the daily time frame. All right, so let me go ahead and zoom out of this. So let's go ahead and plot out some maybe, key support, key resistance, to see exactly, where this thing might turn around from, where it might break down from, and then you really got to look at the order book to see exactly if the buyers or the sellers are stacked up close to that exact price to come up with a probability that yes, that is a good support. That is a good resistance. So if you're going to take a position, you want to look at maybe the first area of support, second area of support, third area of support, and then look at the order book at those support levels and see exactly, what the probability of it turning around from that point is. And then you would look at taking a little bit of an entry. I don't recommend going all in. I have done it in the past, but I will never tell anybody to go on it all in. Just like I've traded on margin, and had my ass handed to me. But I've always told people not to trade on margin, stay away from margin. All right, so let's go ahead and maybe see exactly where we might have some good areas of support. And I usually try to look at to see exactly what might have happened in the past. So I actually got to probably go and look at the 4-hour chart just to kind of have a better idea. And a lot of times, they will tell you why it is that they turned around from that specific price point. So we have an area of support here, and when she did come down, and she came down to 35 or 34.78. There was a reason why she came down to that 34.78, and if you had plotted out, prior support, after it had a nice run up, you would have seen in different points of the chart that, that was the resistance that it had. It couldn't make it up above that, and a lot of times, we see cryptocurrencies, they like to make the prior resistance a new support. And we see that over and over again. And these are patterns that you are going to be seeing. So you definitely got to keep an eye out for those. So here's an area of resistance there. They try to break out above that 34.78. Let's just say 35 bucks. Couldn't do it. It broke out a little bit, but selling pressure, kind of intensified and really brought it down to 19 bucks. And we're looking at back in May. Yes, you can eat down here. My daughter's asking me if she can eat down here. I think that might keep her quiet. All right, and another area that we're kind of looking at is this area right here. So if you had actually plotted out your support line and kept the support lines or the resistance lines there, that would have kind of, given you an idea that, okay, there's a couple spots that it had a hard time breaking out. And when they do break out, I always say, they need to break out with a vengeance. It can't just be a little bit of a break. Like here, we're seeing a little bit of a break. But that just wasn't enough. The bulls really didn't take control to really bring it up to a better price. The bears basically outweighed the bulls in that situation. But if we take a look at this candlestick here, that was just a nice break above that $35 resistance that it had a hard time breaking out above it twice. This is twice that it had a hard time breaking out above it. It just kept on breaking down, getting close to it, or getting above it just a little bit, breaking right back down. But when they break out with a vengeance, that's when you know that this is a true bull momentum, that this is a true breakout. And, that candlestick kind of tells you the story there. But then, when she does come back down and you are not chasing this thing, because I never recommend anybody to chase any of these things. Let me get out of here. Of course, she is going to start breaking out, and we need to probably take a look at a larger time frame now. All right, so when she broke out, that was a new high that it had actually made. So we're going to go ahead and draw out our line right there. So that was a new high that it made. It broke down from that high. So, really, the sky's the limit. You really, when something's breaking all-time highs, you don't have the data to determine, okay, what is the resistance on this? It doesn't have a resistance. This is all new time highs that it's making. The only way you can probably figure out what the resistance is by looking at the order book on the sell side and just being like, all right, people are stacked up right at this. Let's see what actual price point this is. $51, let's just say 51 bucks. You would have seen that there were tons of sellers stacked up at that $51 price point. Then you would have said, okay, what, even though this is all new time highs that it's making and it hasn't corrected from this level in the past, but the order book is showing me that there are sellers that are stacked up. Now, it could be a fake wall to fake people out. It could definitely be a fake wall. But that's something you got to keep in the back of your head. But, the sellers brought it right back down. So that was basically, if it decides to break this level here or get close to this level, that was going to be a new resistance. So, of course, she broke down. When she did break down, where did she break down to? She broke down to these areas of resistance here. And, we'll call this an area of resistance as well, too. Even though it did break out, she did break down back below it. So that could be an area of resistance as well too. So 3 areas of resistance. Normally what I've said in the past is cryptocurrencies or even stocks, they like to make the prior resistance a new support, especially after having a nice confirmed breakout. And that's exactly what she did. So right here, when she came back down from that $51 price point, yes, she broke through the 35. Let's see exactly what that break was to. 33.61, 33.38. Yes, so she did break through the 35, but came right back up with a vengeance. So that indicates to me, you know what? That 35, somewhere in that range. Now, when I say 35, give or take, 20 or 30 cents, we're never going to be 100% accurate. But that 35 happened to be a good support for it, and it bounced up from it. So it basically showed you that, we've had a resistance at that price point 3 times. When it finally broke out above it and decided to come back down, that formed it as a new support. So then, when she broke out again to 57, of course, the resistance was that 51, whatever it ended up hitting right up here, 49.99 actually. 49.99 was the resistance, and she broke out above it. But as you can see on this candlestick, she broke out above it, but sellers brought it right back down. Short sellers brought it right back down. But of course, the bulls, they were in control of this, because this would not have broken new time highs. It would have really broken down from that $50, $49.99, and retested the $35 support level again. But it didn't. The bears were strong. They outweighed the bears. I'm sorry, the bulls were strong. They outweighed the bears and brought this up to 57.75. So that is a new all-time high on GDAX. Not on any other exchanges, only on GDAX. So other exchanges, I think, Kraken went up to $65, but we can't base that resistance based on, what it reached at a different exchange. We got to look at the data for the exchange that we're actually trading on. So hit 57.75. When she came back down, what did she come back down to? Now remember, you plotted these out a couple of days ago. You've been following this pattern, and you've seen that $35 was a strong resistance, and it formed it as a support. So what is it going to do again if it decides to come back down? Buyers are going to be stacked up at that $35 price point. We're close to it. So 34.78 was what it touched. It broke through 35 just a little bit. 34.78 is what it broke before having a really nice run up to 47.93. And this is the current cycle that we're currently looking at on a 12-hour chart. So we're going to get a little more granular to kind of see exactly, what is this doing right here? Especially, after it hit the 37.78 and it made it all the way up to 47.93. So, hopefully, if you were able to catch this bottom, 35, 36, 37, 30, even $38, look to be locking in some profits. Don't hope and wish that this is going to start breaking all-time highs. It could get to 50 and then kind of pull right back down to that $35 level. So you always want to lock in little increments of your position for a profit. Never hope and wish that it's going to go higher, because if it comes right back down to 36, which was your entry, then now you're at break even. So lock in profit. Maybe sell a fifth of what you had, or 5% of what you had. And that's usually what I like to do. I like to lock in profits on the way up. It's easier for me to sell because there's always buyers. People are suffering from FOMO. They will always be buyers on the way up. But if you try to sell on the way down, people are lining up at that door with you to sell on the way down, and you're not going to get a good exit. You're going to end up selling less than what you were probably looking at the chart, because everybody's lining up to sell. So you definitely want to be buying when there's panic selling, when there's panic dips that are happening. We saw this panic dip from 57 to 30, 35. That's when you want to be adding to a position, and not adding a lot, but just adding little increments as it's just coming down, because you never can predict that bottom. And then as it starts going up, be happy with your profits, start locking a little bit in, but keep a little bit on the table just in case we do have a parabolic run up to the upside. So then you're able to maximize a little more of your profit. But yeah, let me get to some of these comments. I know I missed a lot of them. I did a lot of talking on the support and resistance. But that 35, I'm still looking at that $35 level. So if she is going to correct, there's a possibility, she's going to correct to that $35 level. So, I will have some order. I have an order in for 40 at GDAX, and then I will be putting in some orders, in the 37.50 range and then $35 range. Definitely not before I go to sleep. Before I go to sleep, there'll be a couple of lowball offers on the book. All right, so let's take a look at some of these comments. I know it's a lot, and I usually got to scroll up, but there's usually no delay at all. So let me see what I'm missing here. But yeah, also, if you're new to this live stream, like I said before, click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. We got 92 people on this live stream, and I'm just seeing this now. So Brandon, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it because yeah, you sharing my link on Facebook definitely has something to do with it. So I do appreciate everybody that's joining. I appreciate everyone that has clicked on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. And I don't even know how many subscribers we have right now, but let me take a look at that real quick. Yeah, we were getting close to that 2,000, and with 92 people, that's a lot of people that we got on this live stream. So I think you guys might have helped us get to that 2,000. You'll be buying the next dip with money you can afford. Yes, dude, definitely. Use money you can afford to lose. Do not take out a payday loan. Do not borrow money. Do not use money you need for rent. Do not use money you need for food. Do not use money that you need for your kids. Highly recommend do not use money that you actually need to sustain your living, whether it's long-term or short-term. Play with money that you can afford to lose that. If you lose it, you know what? It's not the end of the world. I lost. I mean, you guys know with that flash crash, I lost everything just about. Now it was nice for Coinbase to give me back a majority of the coins, but if you guys were on that live stream or saw that live stream when the crash happened and when I found out, I wasn't killing myself over it. Even though it was a lot of money that I lost, it wasn't the end of the world because I still have my health, I still have my family, I still have this live stream that I could, vet to you guys about. So. But yeah, 1970. So 1,970 subscribers is what we currently have now. And if we get to 2,000, I'll be doing a special giveaway. And I've talked about that special giveaway, on the last live stream. So I don't know if it's going to be a special live stream that I'll do after this, or maybe I'll announce it during this live stream if we hit the 2K subscriber. But let me see. I know I'm going to end up missing a lot of these comments, and if I do miss it, I do apologize. But feel free to leave me a comment when the video is uploaded, and I'll be happy to return those comments. Andreas, are we getting ready for a big drop this weekend again? I'm thinking about shorting. Shorting's a dangerous game, buddy. Shorting is a dangerous game. You're thinking about shorting F now to take a little, get out and buy again somewhere during the weekend. I mean, we saw last weekend what happened, and it ended up dipping, and it dipped nicely. And I think, some of us were able to take advantage of that dip. And you just got to have capital waiting on the sideline to take advantage of these dips, because these dips will happen. You just got to be patient and let them come to you. So currently, right now, we are downtrending from that 47.93. It came all the way down to 45.51. Went right back up to 47.22, and attempted to break out again, and it just couldn't break out. So there is a strong resistance right at those levels there. But yeah, we're downtrending currently right now. So, and this is on Litecoin that I'm looking at, not Ethereum, by the way. But to kind of go back, shorting is a dangerous game, and I would not short. I have shorted before, but yeah, just be careful. Anybody that's shorted this thing, or not shorted this thing, shorted. We're going to take a look at. Let me get out of this. We'll take a look at Litecoin on GDAX. Anybody that shorted at 3,000 or 2,900, 2,999, yeah, definitely made a killing, and I'm sure the wells, were shorting as they were dumping to cause the price to come down. You got to remember that anybody with a deep pocket, will short it, and if they have tons of Litecoin, Ether, whatever it might be, they'll start dumping it at a huge profit, I'm sure, and then they'll still making a profit on the way down because they shorted it, and now they're dumping all their long positions, and that will just cause a nice drop. And then what they'll do is they'll cover. When they're covering, they're actually buying back, causing more momentum, bringing more volume in, and that's going to cause it to kind of go up. But yeah, anybody that shorted this thing, and look at the overall chart in the 3,000 range, because actually, on Bitfinex it did break above 3,000. It was like $3,003, something to that extent. But yeah, anybody that shorted this thing, at the top a while back, yes, made tons of money. But right now, I don't know if it's a good time to short, to be honest with you. Anything could really happen with somebody that has a deep pocket. They could cause this thing to drop, and then you're making money because you decided to short it, or they could get this thing to break out to an all-time high on GDAX, and then you're either going to be liquidated or you're going to be forced to cover. And when you're covering, and there's a lot of people that are shorting at that level, and they're all covering, that's just going to cause a short squeeze, which would cause a nice parabolic move to the upside. So, and I'm sure with this here, that's basically what might have happened, to be honest with you. That's my speculation, is that, let's go ahead and draw a line out here, because that, is a strong resistance there. And I mean, this is just a perfect cup and handle formation as well too. And I wish Crypto Watch would allow me to just kind of use a pencil to draw on this. But we basically got the cup here, we got the handle, and then we got the boom, we got the parabolic move. But yeah, anybody that would have shorted this thinking, okay, you know what, this is a resistance right up here. This level, whatever level this is, let's just say 24. Let's say 2400. They said, okay, you know what, 2400, it's going to be a resistance. It is going to pull back down. And if they would have shorted, yes, they would have been correct just for a very short period of time. They wouldn't have been correct for too long, because they would have probably expected this thing to drop, down to close to 2000, and then they would probably cover at 2000. That's probably what some were expecting if they decided to short at that $2,400 level. And of course, they probably got excited here. Well, not get excited, but when it started dipping, they got excited, and then started going up. They were like, all right, I'm going to cover. I'm going to buy back in to cover that short position at 2,400. And of course, it didn't get up to 2,400. It started to pull back down. They were probably excited, happy. And then what do you know? If they weren't in front of their computer looking at this, it had a nice, clean parabolic break to the upside. This was a great momentum to kind of take it up to that 29.57. So they would have really lost their shirt. They would have either been liquidated, or they would have covered, and that's kind of what causes a short squeeze, when they're being forced to cover, or they just want to minimize that loss and realize, or some people might be adding to their short position and adding to their short position and adding to their short position, and eventually they run out of money to add, and it just keeps going up and up and up and up. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy world. But yeah, I'd be careful about shorting. Sorry, I just kind of went off on a tangent about shorting. Let's see, you just watched the dip 91 countdown, and once it said projected to lock in, you bought 7 BTC at 23.50. Dude, that's nice. So you had the data at hand, you had an idea of exactly what it was going to do. I wasn't watching it, but yeah, from 23.50, hopefully you took profit. I mean, that's $600. You would have made, depending on what exchange you're on. But yeah, from 23.50, let's just say to 29.50, $600. That's not chump change at all. And you bought 7. So those are pretty significant gains if you decided to lock in those profits. I mean, you're still in the profit now too, so that's not bad at all. That's a pretty good trade. You're on Dash. Any thoughts? We can take a look at Dash. I do got to look at Ant shares. USDT scares you? Yeah, I think USDT scares a lot of people. Just remember, it's not the US dollar. It's an altcoin. It's supposed to be pegged to the US dollar, but it's never even. It's never 1-to-1 ratio. All right, let me try to scroll down and get some of these comments. SegWit stopped the user, activate a soft fork. Yeah, but now we got that hard fork to worry about. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What's consensus say? I mean, who's more in favor of a hard fork? Who's more in favor of a soft fork? I don't know what you guys think. Are you in favor of having 2 coins, or are you in favor of the original, the original Bitcoin, and you don't want it to split? I'll be honest with you guys. I've never said this, and please don't hate me on this. And I'm talking as a trader, not as a long-term investor. So this is not a comment geared towards long-term investors at all. But as a trader who kind of thrives on that volatility, those up and down swings, I don't want to see Bitcoin going to 5,000. I don't want to see it going to 10,000. I don't want to see it going to 20, 30, 50, 500,000 like John McAfee said that it would. And I made a comment about John McAfee and why it is that he made that statement. He's got his own motives. He runs one of the biggest hydro farming for Bitcoin. So, they generate 5 petahash, and generate about 100 Bitcoins on a monthly basis. So he's got his motives for saying that. But, there's a reason why I don't want it to go up to that high. If it goes up that high, there's not going to be that volatility. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's going to be, a pretty steady price, and it's not going to have those crazy fluctuations up and down that we're currently seeing now, because traders are not going to be able to buy something, that's $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Yes, they might be able to buy it, but they're not going to be able to buy as much as they're able to buy now. So the volatility is not going to be there. The volume is not going to be there. It'll be something that's, pretty stable. And as a trader, that's not what I want to see. As a long-term investor, yeah, I definitely want to see it get to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, so that traders are not able to trade this and bring it down and bring it up. But you're always going to have big money moving this thing. Anybody, with millions of dollars can easily move it, even if it's, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Us retail traders, we'll be able to buy like, one Satoshi if we're lucky, and try to trade that. But then, the volatility, the volume is just not going to be there. So don't hate me for making that comment. It's just, that's just my opinion as a trader, not as a long-term investor. Let's see, a lot of comments we got here. 1973 is a subscriber count. 1974. Oh man, this is yeah, we could hit this on this live stream. So this live stream will end right around 11:45-ish. I usually try to go a little longer if I can, but yeah, we might end up hitting 2,000 subscribers before that. So if you haven't clicked on that subscribe button yet, I highly recommend you click on that subscribe button and help us get to 2,000 before this live stream ends. But thank you to anybody that has clicked on that subscribe button. I do appreciate your support. Can I look at Dash next? Yes, I'm going to look at actually Ant shares first because I did promise Tracy I would take a look at that, but then we'll definitely take a look at Dash. A little up in October when the levels are back to 2,500 from 5,000. I don't know if it's going to go to 5,000 by October. Yeah, I don't know about that. It'd be great if it did for anybody that is holding this long term. But yeah, I don't see that happening at all with all this uncertainty that's going to be happening, and all the pure manipulation as well too. I mean, we know that they can dump this thing, $1,300, $1,250. They can dump it $1,250. We've seen Bitcoin go down $900, $800, drop off a bucket and come right back up. So, as long as that volatility is there, I think it's going to have a hard time getting to that 5,000 by October. Now, will it get there? Yes, definitely will. At least you're being somewhat realistic. Unlike John McAfee, 500,000, in 3 years. That's unrealistic. That's unattainable. Nothing goes up that much within 3 years. So, I think if he had the crystal ball and he knew it would get up to that level, why isn't he buying every Bitcoin that's out there? The Dubai Review, welcome. Let's see who else we got. I'll give a little bit of a shout out here. Oregon Homegrown, welcome. PK's, welcome, bud. J Lo. Let's see who else we got. Anybody new? Blake, new name. Awesome. Welcome. Any thoughts on MN coins? I don't know MN coins, but if it's if I have a chart for it, we'll definitely take a look at it. As long as it's not another chain coin. Yeah, I don't really want to take a look at chain coin. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these coins that you guys are asking me to take a look at. We'll open up Bittrex. My market cap and see what the overall market cap is. See what BTC dominance is. Probably up right in the 48 range. I mean, so BTC dominance will always be there. I don't think that's going anywhere at all. 93 million, or I'm sorry, 93 million, $93.5 billion from that 62 or 63 that it came down to. So that's a huge increase. That is a huge increase. And, what I've been talking about in the past, being in a bubble and, this price action has definitely contradicted everything that a lot of people are saying. It's just not me saying, that we're possibly in a bubble. It's a lot of people that are saying that, and it's definitely contradicting exactly what is happening. But what was that? MN. I don't know what MN is. Somebody asked me about MN, so you have 2 MNs running. So if you want to just, tell me what that is, I'll, if that's even a cryptocurrency. But let's go ahead and take a look at Ant shares. And I did take a look at Dash yesterday, so I'll definitely briefly cover it, but I don't want to spend too much time on Dash. ANS, so let's see, $7 I think it was the other day. I don't know if it came down to 5 yet. Masternode coins, okay, gotcha, Blake. Tampa, Florida, welcome. Yeah, I was in Clearwater Beach, Florida a while back. Had a blast. It was hot, but it was fun. All right, so let's see. And I think, there is news coming out. I briefly read it. I didn't really have a chance to read it too much, but they are doing a rebranding. The 24th, I think. 24th of July, they are going to be rebranding. They brought it down to 200,000. I mean, volume is good. Let's see how we look on the buy side. And I never look at BTC when I'm looking at the order book, especially on Bittrex. I don't look at the BTC in volume. I actually look at the actual coins in volume. The BTC can be very misleading. So right now it's showing that there's 621 BTCs on the buy side versus 13,750 on the sell side. So don't look at that. It's a little misleading because if you actually look at the actual coins that are in the order book, we have, let's see, 23 million on the buy side versus 578,000 on the sell side. So you really got to look at the actual coins that are in the order book and not the actual BTC in volume, or what's being offered to sell and what's being offered on the buy side as well too. So definitely don't look at that. But yeah, I mean, this is actually looking good. And this could have a nice pump gearing up to the 24th, depending, what positive news they're going to be putting out and how they're going to be rebranding. I know they're going to be changing the name to Neo, but I don't know what other type of brandings that they're actually going to be doing. But I mean, if this thing comes down, with this positive news that's going to be out, of course, there are going to be people out there that are going to be pumping this thing and pumping this thing. And it is, I mean, as they say, that the Chinese Ethereum. So people in China could be buying this up heavily, thinking, what, this is the real deal. Aside from Ethereum, of course, being the real deal, they could think that this is what's going to give Ethereum the run for its money. And if that's the case, and if it has that community back and enough people supporting it, I mean, volume being 3,055, that's not bad. I mean, this thing could have a nice parabolic move leading up to the news. And of course, they're going to buy the rumor and then they're going to sell the news. So they are going to dump this back down. So if you end up getting into ant shares, I mean, don't look to hold it past its all-time high that it had actually set. 530,000 Satoshis, 541,000 Satoshis. I would be looking to lock in some of the profit. If I took a position here, which I'm not taking a position, I would be looking to lock in profits, a little bit at the 300,000 Satoshi range, a little bit at the 400,000 Satoshi range, but I would not hold this past 530,000 Satoshi range. I would not at all, because it could hit that and then come right back down. But yeah, it's only a couple days. I mean, today is the 21st. I could be wrong. Yep, 21st. So in 3 days, they're going to be releasing the news on their rebranding. But for it to be, $7, it's not bad at all. It's holding pretty steady, to be honest with you. This chart is not breaking down at all. So this thing could see a nice parabolic upside move. But if she does decide to come back down, and I hate this charting system, to be honest with you guys. Let's go ahead and draw out a couple lines. I mean, really, that's going to be the range that it's going to be playing. Yeah, don't worry about this top one here. Okay, there we go. So that's really the range that it's possibly going to be playing. And that's a good support line there because we saw that yes, it can come down, and it has come down to that 176,000. And then when she had a nice run up to about 395,000 Satoshis, when she did come back down, she came down to that 200,000 Satoshi range. So she got very close to hitting that low that it had set after having a nice parabolic move to the upside. But she got close to that. So and she's grinding up to the upside now. So I would see this as just gearing up for a nice run. People are buying the news, and of course they're gonna sell that rumor. Yeah, this might not be a long-term hold for me. If she does decide to come down, I mean, I would really be looking at that 200,000 Satoshi range. So if I was going to take a position in this, that's kind of where I would put it to see if she does break down from this trend line. If she does break down from this trend line, you will have a good amount of support at that 200,000 Satoshi and then possibly 175,000 Satoshi. But to verify that, to look at the probabilities, you definitely want to look at the order book and see exactly, okay, you know what? How many people are buying, or really how many coins are looking to be bought at that 200,000 Satoshi range? So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see, if there are tons of buyers stacked up. Again, too bad I can't look at just the whole order book all at once, like I can with Bitfinex. All right, I think I missed it. 200,000 Satoshi range. Nobody. No one is stacked up unless they're hiding their order. You know, that's a possibility. They could be hiding their order. Let's get that 175,000 Satoshi range. Not too many. Not too many are stacked up at those support lines. So, yeah, I mean, this as long as they're not hiding their orders, I mean, this could gear up for a nice run, because nobody believes that it's going to get to that low. Let's just see where the big buyers are stacked up on this. 170 is nothing. I'm looking for thousands. 3,000. So here we go. 3,300, 3,400 and something. It's over 3,000 here. 3,400, 43. Here we go. 16,000 at 257,000 Satoshis. All right, so yeah, that was the biggest order that we saw. So good amount at 16,000 at that price level. That could be the support there. But yeah, I'm not looking to play ant shares. I'm not buying the rumor and then selling the news. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on this. It's just to see if she does downtrend from this point on, or more likely she's not, to be honest with you, considering there is news that's going to be coming out. So people are going to be buying the hype and chasing this FOMO. And once they chase the FOMO, I mean, it'll go parabolic, but it'll come crashing right back down. So be very, very, very careful. Chaincoin masternodes. Yeah, what is it? 1,000, I think, and a lot of people were paying 6,000 for it. When it peaked. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about Chaincoin, to be honest with you. That link has already been broken. Nobody's really doing what they're saying they're going to do. So if they're telling you to hold and hold and hold, yeah, lock in those profits. Be happy with them. Don't take their advice. Let's see. I'm going to get to some of the comments, and then we'll take a look at Dash. I mean, Dash was like 130, I think, or 140 when I looked at it the other day. Slap that button and sub, guys. Slap that button and sub. Yes, man, I concur 100%. Let's see where we're at now. 95 watching, so thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely smash that subscribe button as well as the post notification. If you do find this information helpful, definitely click on that like button. But I'm trying to see exactly. My computer's acting up on my other side. I have too many things running on my computer. That's a problem. Andy, you're new. Welcome, buddy. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that subscribe button. Wish you bought BTC at 1,800. I think a lot of people wish they bought it at 1,800, to be honest with you, including myself. I was expecting it to drop more. But yeah, I should have followed my #1 rule and taken a little bit of a position, maybe, a quarter of a Bitcoin, maybe a tenth of a Bitcoin, just to have a little bit of skin in the game. I didn't do that. A lot of us didn't do that, expecting to drop to under 1,500, 1,250. But yeah, I mean, it would have been nice. But yeah, stacking up on LTC, depending where your entries were, it's not a bad idea at all. I think, and I said this before, we're safer on LTC than we are actually on Bitcoin. Well, at least we were on Bitcoin until it decided to run up 1,200 bucks. Where would I buy BTC now? I would look to see if she's going to get close to that $2,000 range. And see exactly, how new, if there's FUD that's out there, if there's just tons of negative news to cause panic, definitely pay attention to that, because panic buys are probably the best buys. But you got to be in front of a computer, or you got to have those lowball offers in the book. Yeah, can't trade without BTC. You're absolutely right, and I will cover BTC. Take a look at MYR and ARC. I'll put it on my list, bud. I don't know if I'll get to it. Neo is the one. Yeah, when they rebrand, I think, that positive news rebranding, depending, of changing the name, depending what else they have coming out, I think it will definitely be good news. Yeah, I think China money has already poured into Neo or Ant shares. Definitely has, and I think that's what caused that huge increase. But yeah, as long as it has the backing, that's really what it needs, and that's what Chaincoin is trying to do right now. Is they're trying to get the backing of the community. So if they're telling people to hold and hold and hold, and get those master nodes, lock in those coins, yeah, that's going to do great things for the price. But eventually, you got to remember, people that are telling you to hold, they're only telling you to hold for their best interest only, not for your interest. So they'll be telling you to buy it even if it's ripping to all-time highs as they're selling to you. Put your pocket money into new and sleep sound. Don't even look at it for years. Yeah, I'll look at new. I won't do it now, but I'll put it on my list to take a look at it. There are a couple of different cryptocurrencies that I actually want to look at. I want to start researching, and they're basically the ones that provide the foundation. To be honest with you, for a lot of these tokens to be created, and there are a handful of these cryptocurrencies that provide the foundation. Now, of course, Ethereum is probably the biggest that provides the foundation for all these tokens that are being built on the Ethereum network. But there are other ones as well too, and I think they're really not talked about as much. Omni is one of them. There's about 15 tokens created on that platform. BitShares, another 15 tokens created on that platform. Counterparty, there's 12 tokens. And this data might not be accurate. Actually, it might be a lot higher now, to be honest with you, because there's, ICOs happening all the time and whatnot. Counterparty's 12. Ethereum Classic, which I'm surprised only has one token that's built on its network. Nubits, Nex, Ubique, Waves, Burst. Those are really the ones I'm going to start researching, and if I am looking for a long-term hold, those are probably going to be some of the cryptocurrencies that I will hold long-term, because the foundation is not going anywhere. Yes, the coins will disappear eventually. Select few will survive. Not all these ICOs that are coming out on the Ethereum network are going to survive. They're not. A handful of them will, but I would rather invest in the foundation that's providing a place for these tokens to kind of be created. Instead of putting my money into a token that's created on the foundation that might not exist. The foundation will always be there because there are tokens always being created on these foundations, but the tokens might not survive. So those are the kind of the cryptocurrencies I will be looking at. I'll be doing a research, and if I do end up taking a position, some of these, I'll let you guys know. But I have not taken a long-term position in any of these yet. Ever heard of Decreed? Oh man, when I first started live streaming, there was Vinny Gaiman YT. He actually asked me to do a video on effective way, or I forget what he asked me to do, how to be an efficient trader or something to that extent. But yeah, he was a trader. He actually informed me about Decreed and how he bought Decreed at, like, I don't know, 20, 30 cents, and he sold it at $1. And then it dipped to 80 cents, and I think he bought more. But I think he might have sold at like $2 or possibly $3. But yeah, I was always looking at Decreed, and when it just started breaking out, I was like, man, why have I not bought Decreed? But yes, and I think them having the master node definitely helped out, because there were a lot of tokens that were locked up, and when tokens are locked up for master nodes, that decreases the overall supply that's available for trading, or the available supply for trading. MateSafe and Monero. I know Monero has done pretty well. I don't know about MateSafe though. IOTA, yes, I do like IOTA, and there was a reason why I moved funds over from GDAX over to Bitfinex, and that was to be able to take advantage of IOTA, EOS, SAN, OMG. Definitely not Ripple though. Too many sharks in Chaincoin. Oh, dude, there's sharks everywhere. It's just not Chaincoin. Chaincoin just probably happens to be one of the most manipulated ones, with tons of people telling you to buy. But yeah, there's a lot of coins that are in the same situation as Chaincoin. And it's easy for them to do that. They're just going to find a coin that just, it's basically dying. It has been dying for a while, and they're going to hype it up. They're going to get so many backings behind it from the community, and the more people that they're doing. They're not going to do this over a 1 day or 2 day or 3 day period. They're going to do this over a sustained long period and just trap people in, thinking that it's the latest and the greatest, new coin, or not new coin, but it's being revised. Basically, it's coming back from the dead. And there are people that will throw money at it. Some of them will make money, and some of them will lose money. Yeah, and shares wouldn't be bad as a long-term hold, to be honest with you. It would not be bad at all. But I'm going to just try to get to a couple more of the comments, and then we'll cover Dash, which I did cover Dash the other day. And I think I had some support lines drawn out, but let's go ahead and plot out some new lines. Because really, it is starting to break out. And as long as this cooperates with me today, a couple points where it decided to retrace from, and I haven't really looked at this in a while. But yeah, one rule of thumb is you definitely want to have a handful of cryptocurrencies that you know exactly what they do. You know the ins and outs of that cryptocurrency without even really looking at the chart. As long as you can look at the price, especially if you've been spending a lot of time looking at it and analyzing it, you're going to have a mental note of where the support and resistance are. And just by looking at the price, you can definitely tell what it's doing. But I have not looked at this for too long at all. But yeah, that's a high today right now. So let's go ahead and enlarge this. Just a couple more comments, and then I'll enlarge it, and then we'll talk about the price action, price movement. Oregon homegrown. That's a great way of looking at it. You got some skin in the game in EOS, Ubique, and Ant shares, and I think with Ant shares and Ubique, you can't go wrong at all for long-term hold. And like you said, man, if it disappears, you're okay with it, and that's awesome because you have to be okay with it. And a lot of people are not okay with losing that money. Yeah, I mean, you have a plan, so it's not the end of the world if you do lose that money, which you're probably not going to lose it all. I mean, you might be down on your capital, but until you sell, you're not really losing anything. That's why it crashes. We talk about chain coin, I'm assuming. Your internet went down. Did I do Dash yet? No, I actually just plotted out just a couple very quick resistance lines, considering, or actually support lines, considering it's broken out above that price point. But I'm getting ready to cover it now, just trying to get to a couple of the questions to try to be a little more interactive with you guys. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Sound was gone. Andres, thank you so much for letting me know. There are occasional times where I'll mute this because my daughter's asking me a question, and man, I did a lot of talking. I did a lot of talking. Um, all right. Well, basically, I'll kind of summarize what I talked about. Somebody asked about EOS and how they were down, and I mentioned that I will be heavily covering. I'll be heavily covering some of the cryptocurrencies on Bitfinex, especially IOTA, EOS, SAN, and OMG, because those are really the ones that I'm looking to get into. Ripple, I'm not looking to get into. And somebody did ask me that question. You said definitely not Ripple, and why? It just doesn't have the price action movement that I'm looking for. Those other fours do, and I think I can actually make more money off those fours than I can off Ripple at the current time right now. But yeah, I do apologize for having it on mute. Thank you so much for letting me know. And if you guys don't hear any sound at all, please let me know, because I was just ready to cover Dash, and I didn't realize that I was on. I didn't realize I was on mute. Yes, I did cover LTC. Definitely rewind it. The cat pulled the plug. I don't have a cat. Maybe my kids. My daughter, she can be the cat. All right, let me go ahead and enlarge this thing. And then I'll try to spend a good amount of time really interacting with you guys before the live stream ends. All right, so Dash. And I've never bought Dash, to be honest with you. Never bought Dash, not once. I don't know why. It presented great opportunities, but so did a lot of other cryptocurrencies. They provided some great opportunities as well, too. So these are really, support lines that I had drawn out in the past. This was a nice break here that it had. So that circle was from a while ago. And that's really, when it decided to pull back right at this level here, it broke out with a vengeance and just didn't look back ever since then. And that was really May 30th. We'll just say June 1st. All right, I do apologize. Computer's a little frozen. Man, this is a roller coaster ride. Kind of looks like my 7-year-old driving my car, just all over the place, all over the place. But you know what? This is actually a day trader's dream. Looking at a chart like this, and especially if you're following this, and I wasn't following this, to be honest with you. It presented itself some great opportunities to be able to take advantage of these massive swings that it's having. And these are massive swings. This isn't something small, to be honest with you. Even though, yes, the price is high, and a lot of people might not be able to buy a good amount of Dash coins, but the price swing is just insane. We're seeing $60 price swings, to the upside, and of course, dropping from that all-time high, by $100. But that was when everything else was dropping. But it's having some nice drops, some nice corrections, and massive drops again, and then having a nice uptick. Look at this chart. It's really not for long-term investors. This would kill you, to be honest with you. This would not settle well in my stomach at all. If I was watching this, I would not be looking at this if I was long-term. But it had some great points, especially when it broke out over here. It tested this level a couple times, and this level was the 130 level. Now, when it tested it, there wasn't much fighting that was going on between the bulls and the bears, because there was just one wick that would take it down to that level. Try to zoom in and actually get to that 130 price point. Nope, gotta zoom out. Yeah, I do apologize about this technical difficulty, but yeah, next live stream, I don't think I'm going to have too many charts up, because yeah, it's definitely it's bogging down the computer. But yeah, that 130 would have been a perfect opportunity. If you weren't able to catch any of these rises here, and you actually didn't suffer from that FOMO, and you were patient waiting for it to come to you. These levels of 130, 135 presented some great opportunities. As long as you kind of saw that and said, you know what, I'm going to just put in a low ball offer at this price point and kind of leave it there. Especially right up here, if you didn't catch, this nice rip up to the upside from the 140 to the 150, all the way up to almost $200. you could have had a nice entry if if Dash was the coin that you were looking at getting an entry. Now, I wasn't looking at this. I was looking at mainly LTC and Ethereum, to get an entry. But, if you were looking at this, that 130 would have said to you, okay, you know what? She came down a couple times here. She tested it, went up. She tested it here with a one wick, just about right over here. Bounce right up. So 130, 132, 135, I would have said, you know what, let me just put a little offer in there, leave it in the book, see what it does. And, if you actually set it to 130 at this level here, wouldn't have hit your 130, but it would have gotten very close to it. And as long as you didn't suffer from FOMO and actually chase this to the upside and buy it, at 190, thinking it was going to start breaking all-time highs, then yeah, they got rejected. They got rejected. And because this was the previous high here, and I can't draw lines out when I'm actually when I'm zoomed in. But right up here was really the all-time high that it had actually set prior to it breaking out above the $200 price point level. So 197, 198 was the high there. Can't expect it to go any higher at this level here when it actually had a nice break from that 197 all the way to 132, 132.03. Those are significant drops there. So if you kind of saw the previous in the past, what it did, what was it telling you? And you said, you know what, there's a possibility that this could, possibly come down to the 130 level, 132 level, and you put your buy-in offer there, you would have had it executed. But yeah, don't expect it to go up above, the 197, 198, locking those profits. Because then, it came right back down. And you probably wouldn't have been able to stomach this on the way drop, and you would have probably only got out with a little bit of a profit if you were expecting this thing to drop even further than your entry price. So, but yeah, even even at this level here, if we're looking at close to, basically prior to or after it had that massive run up to the upside to 225-ish, hitting all-time highs. I mean, she completely broke down, but so did everything else. Everything else kind of broke down, and she broke below that 130 and actually got to 120-ish. So if you said, you know what, I'm going to wait for the 130 because this is breaking down, it's breaking all key levels of support, and it's breaking through those supports and not really looking back, then, you would have had another entry at 130, based on the prior resistance that it had, or I'm sorry, the prior support that it actually had. But yeah, this is a nice run for it. This is a nice run from 120 all the way up to almost 200. I mean, it's $80. So I wouldn't expect this thing to start, breaking all new time highs, to be honest with you, and expecting 228. Be happy with the profits you have and lock them in, especially if you got in at 120, 130, 140, even 150. Be happy with those profits because this thing could dip at any time. And she can do a dead cat bounce. And we've seen, these little dead cat bounces where she's trapping, bulls. She's trapping people that want to basically take a position for the long term, thinking, you know what, she just dropped to 181. I'm going to take a position considering she was just at 225, and I'm going to sell at 225. When it gets to that level, and she'll trick you, she'll fool you, and that's exactly what she did. From 180, 185, let's just say, to 210. That's a $25 gain, but gave it all back and just massively dropped. So you are going to see these dead cat bounces, especially when we are in a in a bear market, and I firmly believe we are in a bear market, even though things have gone up 100%, 50%, 60%. Things have gone up, and that's not logical at all. So honestly, they're just going to come down just as fast. They really will. But yeah, if you're currently in Dash, look out for the resistance at 210. Also, the resistance at 216, 215-ish, as well as the all-time high that it had set at 225. And you can definitely look at the order book. And that's the nice thing about Bitfinex, is that you can look at the whole order book to see exactly, how many people are stacked up at what price point. And we'll take a look at that briefly. And then I definitely want to get to some of the comments and be able to answer some of the questions you guys have. 92 people, that's awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I do appreciate it. I mean, this is awesome. 36 likes, and if you haven't smash that like button, go ahead and smash that like button, to be honest with you. Especially, us getting to 2,000, it's going to be a milestone for us to hit. So, but yeah, let me look at the subscriber count real quick. All right, so sellers, where are sellers stacked up? 1,400. And the nice thing is, it'll tell you how many sellers are stacked up at that specific price point. So there's 14 sellers at that $200 price point. for 1,409 Dash coins. So 1992, man, that actually brings back memories. I remember 1992 like it was yesterday. 1,992 subscribers is what we have currently right now at the moment. 8 more to go. So if you haven't clicked on that subscribe button, help us out. Click on that subscribe button. All right, so let's see where else, how that 225 looks. 225, oof, I'm surprised. Only 4 people stacked up at that 225. But, at 223, 224, 225, we do have a total of 3,000, a little over 3,000 coins at that specific price point. So that's definitely a level to be kind of looking at and not expecting it to go up too high, even though there aren't too many sellers after that. But, the buyers got to be there to back it up. And let's see where the majority of our buyers are stacked up. And I'm usually looking, for something in the thousands. So 5 buyers at 1,300, or I'm sorry, for 1,300 Dash coins at 130 bucks. Oof, they're putting in that low ball offer, thinking, and that's a resistance. I'm sorry, that's a support. So they're playing that support. It's very easy to play the support and resistance. And then, of course, you got tons of low ball offers, expecting a flash crash to happen. All right, let me get to some of your comments as best as I can. 1996, man, that also brings back memories. Those 90s, I'm sure that tells you guys kind of my age. All right, let me see. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. I can't scroll up all the way because then it'll take me forever to get to some of these comments. Yeah, I mean, I would love to take a look at some of these cryptocurrencies you guys are asking me to, but yeah, the live stream would go very long. But definitely on Monday, anybody that's interested in IOTA, EOS, SAN, OMG, I will be covering those 4 cryptocurrencies, and those are the 4 that I'm actually interested in and taking a position. But now, let's just say Litecoin decides to take a dip, and it's presenting some great opportunities for me to get into Litecoin. I'm going to get into Litecoin, but I will be, following those 4 cryptocurrencies heavily because I think, any money that I put into it at a very good, spot for me. I'm not saying that, currently its current price is a good spot to get into. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm going to wait for this thing to come to me. I'm going to really analyze, where the good amount of support is and really wait for this thing to come to me for me to be able to take a very sizable position. Right now, I think, I was looking to buy like 11,000 of each coins at like 10 cents. It's just a low ball offer that I put into it. All right, so let's see. I think I already got some of these comments. Yeah, sorry about the sound, guys. Sorry about the sound. But yeah, going forward, I'm going to say probably starting August, the setup should be a lot better. And I'll just leave it at that. Everything is going to be changing in the sense of the live stream. So I think kind of going forward, starting in August, you'll see a different change in the live stream and what you guys are able to see. I won't say what it is yet. Somebody said the biggest bull trap. Yes, dude, this is the biggest bull trap. And it's pure evil. It really is evil. And there's a lot of people that will fall, for this manipulation that just constantly happens. And, we really got to be able to look at this and kind of think outside the box and say, you know what, this isn't normal. It's not normal at all for it to go up, 1,200 bucks. It's not. Clickbait, huh? Yeah, I'm sure it was clickbait, dude. I mean, and it is. And I mean, to be honest with you, it is. I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. I completely agree with them. Oregon, that's funny, dude. You bought Dash a while ago for long-term hold, and you got ulcers. But you're in good shape now. Yeah, dude. I mean, watching this thing on a day-to-day basis, if you're a long-term investor, is going to cause you ulcers. It's going to cause you a headache. It's going to cause you to be stressed out. It's going to cause you to panic. So don't do it. Don't do it. As a long-term holder, look at it maybe once every 2 weeks. And don't even look at the candlesticks. Look at like the mountain chart, or just a basic chart. That kind of just tells you the trend of it. But yeah, especially, when I get into these 4 coins that I'm looking at, I'm not going to be really analyzing the chart too often. I'll look at the chart and just kind of see, what, we're still on an uptrend. I'll follow the news a little bit, and there's good news that's coming out. But yeah, it's going to be a long-term hold, and I'm not going to be looking at this on a day-to-day basis. So that could definitely eat away at you, man. It will. All right, 1,997 subscribers. 3 more to go. You're in at 155. And you're still in the profit, so that's not bad at all. I mean, have a plan of exit. To be honest with you, you need a plan of exit. You can't hope and wish that it's going to get up, up to 225. Look to lock in some profit. Yeah, still keep some on the table, just in case that it does have that parabolic move. It does have a nice run up to, 225, and then possibly break above 225. But I would be looking to locking in, profits at different resistance. In the hopes that, it'll hit that resistance and then bounce back down. I have the capital. I have, the profit that I made to be able to buy back in if it does dip to a level that I'm comfortable with. Yeah, Oregon, I wouldn't look at it for too long, to be honest with you. Yeah, periodically here and there. That's about it. McGregor or Mayweather? Oh, man. I didn't think I'd get asked that question. I mean, come on, guys. Really? I mean, you think, McGregor has any chance at all? I mean, by me saying that, you should exactly know, who I would. I'm not betting on this fight, but if I was betting on this fight, I think that just kind of gives you the answer of who I would actually pick. But yeah, I don't think McGregor has a chance. I think George Foreman has a better of a chance of beating Mayweather than McGregor does. Nothing against McGregor, nothing against him at all. And I mean, to be honest with you, it could be a stage fight. I mean, Mayweather is a great promoter. He promotes his own fights. I forget, what is he making off of this? I think he's making like $100 million off of this fight. What's he throwing McGregor? He's probably going to throw McGregor $25, $30 million to, take a fake punch and kind of, or they'll just dance. They'll dance the whole time. They'll dance around. Mayweather likes to dance. He likes to hug. So it could be a dancing competition. But yeah, I don't think McGregor has a chance, to be honest with you. But yeah, I wonder what the Vegas betting looks like. All right, 2,000 subscribers. We just hit the mark. So I want to thank you guys for subscribing. For following me from day one. I mean, I've really only been live streaming since March 12th. I'm going to say. I think that was my first live stream, and I was only at like 200 subscribers. As of March 12th. So to get up to 2,000 subscribers in a very short period of time, I mean, I'm ecstatic. You guys are awesome. I definitely want to thank you for your support. And a lot of you have, subscribed, you've liked, you've shared CTR videos on different social media platforms. And this is awesome. This is awesome. So to celebrate this 2K, I thought I would actually be doing a separate video to kind of celebrate this 2K. But you know what? I mean, we got a good amount of people on this live stream. Let me see exactly how many we have. And this would be a great time to actually have a little contest for you guys for me to give back. And I said it on my last live stream, don't get too excited. I'm not giving away cryptocurrency. But I do have, what I could really offer you guys or ladies is my time. My time to, have a one-on-one chat, whether it's through Skype or through Zoom or any other platforms, you will get my undivided attention. So what I would like to do is basically reward, 2 people, with the opportunity to talk to me on a one-on-one level for 30 minutes. That's kind of what I can offer. But there are ways to win this. So it's just not me, picking 2 people and saying, all right, you 2 are the ones that won this contest. So, there's 2 things that, there's really one thing you got to do in order to win one of the contests. So, a while back, I bought a good amount of Ethereum Classic. I mean, a good amount of Ethereum Classic. So this is almost like a scavenger hunt. You really got to go and find that video where I bought a good amount of Ethereum Classic. What I would like you to tell me is, and then you got to leave this in the chat section after the video gets uploaded to YouTube. And the first person that responds, and answers it correctly, or gets very close to it, will be the person that actually wins. So, you either got to get close to it or you got to hit it. If you're the first person to comment and you got it right on point, you'll be the one that wins. If you got close to it, but then somebody commented and hit it on point and got it exactly to a T, they're going to be the winner. So, I'm going to be looking at the chat sections very carefully to see exactly, who the winner is. And then, on Monday, I'll be announcing who the winners are. And then we'll be, kind of collaborating a time for, for us to kind of chat. And it's almost going to be like an AMA, ask me anything, anything you want. So that'll be kind of me giving my time to you. So what you got to do is basically you got to find, one of the videos or kind of go back and let me know how many Ethereum Classics I bought. And you also need to tell me at what price points did I buy those in. And I'll give you a little bit of hint. I only bought Ethereum twice. So let me know, those 2 entries. At what price point did I take those 2 entries, as well as how many total did I buy of Ethereum Classic? So that's one of the ways that you could actually have a 30-minute interaction with me on a one-on-one level to ask me anything it is that you want to ask me. So that time will be dedicated to you. The other way, there is another one. So the second person, whoever answers this correctly, will actually also have a 30-minute access to me whenever they want. We can set that up. But this is a little more of a riddle. It has nothing to do with cryptocurrency or anything like that. It's more of a riddle. So the riddle, basically, if you can solve this and be the first person to leave it in the comment section of this video when it gets uploaded, is the question is, let me think about it for a second. All right, so I am 6 years old. So this is the riddle. This is how it's going to start. I am 6 years old. My brother is half of my age. Now I am 50 years old. So how old is my brother? So I am right now 6 years old, and my brother is half of my age. When I turn 50, how old is my brother? So hopefully everybody got that question. And you guys have an answer. Leave it in the comment section when this video uploads. It does take a couple minutes for it to upload, so you gotta really be in front of your computer. But yeah, so first way to win is let me know how many Ethereums total I bought. I'm sorry, not Ethereums. Ethereum Classics I bought total, and at what price points did I buy them at? And I have only purchased Ethereum Classic twice. So let me know the price points. Let me know the total amount. Whoever gets that right will get the 30-minute free access to me to be able to chat about anything and everything. And then the second way to win is to kind of solve the riddle. And that riddle is, I am 6 years old today. Right now, I am 6 years old. And my brother is half of my age. When I'm 50, how old is my brother? So hopefully everybody got that. And then I am, I'm going to do something a little special. Let me look at YouTube real quick. Because I do feel a little generous today on giving my time back to you guys. And then I'm going to look at the comments and make sure that you guys understood those two contests. And then if you understood those 2 contests, then I will be ending the live stream. But I do want to take a look at one thing to kind of reward somebody the opportunity to chat with me on a one-on-one level. Scott M., I didn't know you were on this live stream. Dude, you have access to me anytime you want. Actually, I'm looking forward to you guys coming over tomorrow for beer and bonfire. But I think my computer's frozen. I can't even get to the comments. Let's see. But there is somebody else that I want to reward. My time too. Yeah, you gotta leave those comments and not on this chat. You gotta leave them on the actual comment of the video when it gets uploaded. So yeah, I'm not gonna say if anybody's correct. You got to be the first one to leave the comment on there. So you guys are leaving comments in this live chat, but I will not be taking them off this live chat. So once this video uploads, you gotta rush in there and leave that comment. Daniel, thank you so much for clarifying that. Yeah, you got to leave it in the comment section. But yeah, you don't want to be telling people the answer. You guys are, possibly, I'm not saying if you're correct or not, possibly giving away the answer. All right, so let me see exactly, who can I reward another 30-minute worth of my time? Let's take a look at Super Chat. Super Chat. And, some of you guys have been very generous in donating, utilizing Super Chat. And I appreciate that out of the bottom of my heart. So Oni, Oni, I don't know if, yeah, you're on here. You are on here, buddy. So yeah, Oni, dude, thank you so much, man. I mean, 22 bucks you put through. I mean, that's just so generous of you, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. TJ as well too. Thank you so much. Dylan, I know you. It doesn't really list everything, but I did see a while back that you actually had donated $2. But you and I talk anytime, so you have free access to me whenever you want. I think I've said that to you. But yeah, Oni, thank you so much, man. I mean, 22 bucks within a very short period of time. I appreciate that. You're a very generous person, and you have my dedicated half an hour time for us to chat on Slack. Well, not on Slack because we can't do can't really talk verbatim, because I definitely want to be able to talk to you, and for me to be able to answer your questions, on a one-on-one type of conversation. So you let me know, Oni. Leave me a Slack message, a private message, whenever you want to chit chat. To be honest with you, it'll probably go longer than a half an hour because I do enjoy talking to you. But so Oni is a third winner. So he's definitely the winner of a half-hour chat because he's so generous to actually utilize Super Chat. And I'll probably do that on a month-to-month basis. I'll take a look at our Super Chat and see who's been utilizing Super Chat the most, and I'll go ahead and dedicate my time to them because they're being so generous with their money. At least I can do is dedicate my time and be generous with the time that I have to be able to chat with you guys. So, Oni, you're definitely a winner. But let me get to some of these comments just to make sure everybody understands the contest, and then I'll be looking at those heavily. And it's got to be on this video. So it's got to be on this video. But let me just make sure everybody understands the contest. Crack a brew and chill. Yes, dude. You and I, Oni, will definitely crack a beer, a brew and chill. Yes, definitely, man. I'm looking forward to our chat. Let me see the. We can have a conference call. Yeah, dude. Definitely be a conference call. I want to leave it up to the people, though. Especially the contest that I have. It's completely up to you. I mean, we could do one-on-one. Or we could do, have a kind of a three-way call. So with the two people that win, it's up to you to decide. We can get all three of us on a call. Maybe we can do I don't know, maybe we can live stream it. We'll see. We'll see if you guys are cool with it. Maybe we'll live stream it with the two winners for them to be able to ask me anything and everything. But yeah, we could definitely do that. All indicators saying BTC will break all-time highs. Dude. Or Amy, I'm sorry, I called you dude. I say that a lot, but yeah, I mean, it could. Yes, it could. I mean, if people are manipulating this thing, it could. I mean, 29.58 is what it got to. I mean, that's almost like hitting all-time high. But you're right. Any bad news can make it fall. Let's see, 50 at 12 and 50 at 13.50. I don't know. That might have been where I sold it. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy 50 at 12. Definitely not. And I didn't buy 50 at 13.50 or 50 at 13.50. Definitely not. That was when I sold. So you got to kind of look at my previous videos and see exactly how much Ethereum or Ethereum Classic I was holding. And I only purchased Ethereum Classic twice. What were those price points that I purchased them at? But yeah, you got to leave those answers on the comments. So 50 at 12, no, definitely not. You defer your prize to Martin Fernandez. Yeah, if you tell me that, I mean, if you answer the question correctly and you don't want to be on the live stream, or you don't want that one-on-one time with me, and you want to dedicate or donate that one-on-one time to somebody, you're more than welcome to do that. Once you win that contest, it's up to you how you want to handle that. Whether you want to be, talking to me for a half an hour, or somebody else you can give that to somebody else. Don't sell it to somebody else, but you can just give it to somebody else as a generosity. Oni, we'll definitely talk, buddy. Thank you so much, man. And like I said, stream me a Slack message, and we'll do a Skype call, or we'll figure it out. How do you donate through Super Chat? Basically, if you click on Super Chat, it'll say send Super Chat, and then it'll basically, let's see. Okay, I gotta say okay, and then you can pick the amount that you want to Super Chat. And basically what it does is it allows that question to stand out. And the more that you put in, the more, I didn't know it went up to 500 bucks. That's crazy. The more that you put in, the longer that comment stays up on my screen for me to respond to it. And I will definitely respond to any super chats that come through. I will make a time, depending, it all depends, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. If I see a super chat, I'm going to acknowledge that question right away because I do appreciate, the generosity that's coming through that. But that's how you would do it. So, you would pick the amount that you want to put through and then just say buy and send. And that's basically how that's handled. But yeah, let me get out of this, get to some of the questions. If you guys have any questions about the contest. Yeah, never heard of it. Yeah, and not a lot of YouTubers have it. You have to activate it, and you have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to activate it. So if they're not 1,000 subscribers, then then I don't know. Zing, dude, that's awesome. 50, dude, that is generous. That is generous, and I'm gonna have to just kind of give you that one-on-one access as well too. So I will be reaching out to you. I'm actually let me copy and paste your if I can do it. Let me go to your channel. All right, I will be shooting you a message, but definitely shoot me a message, and I'll put my email address on here. But yeah, shoot me an email, and then we'll coordinate a time, for me to, give you that one-on-one access. But yeah, that's very generous of you, man. I appreciate that. That is just sweet. But let's see. Never heard of it. Can donate through Super Chat as I'm in Cambodia. Not a problem, man. I appreciate you thinking about donating. But yeah, dude, don't worry about it. Not a problem at all. But thank you for the consideration. And hopefully you're having fun in Cambodia, man. I would love to visit, that whole area one day. Yeah, I don't want to block anybody accidentally. If I accidentally block somebody, please let me know. That is not my goal at all. Litecoin looks like it's going to run. I hope it does. I really hope it does. I don't have any positions currently right now, but I hope it does run for anybody that has that ability. Is that what the PHP is? Okay, because I'm not sure in what currency that is. YouTube will figure it out. I do. I accept Bitcoin. I mean, if you go on the bottom of this video, there is a support this channel for BTC, Ethereum, or LTC. So if you feel generous and you want to utilize those, that's awesome. Don't feel like you're obligated to, but yeah, I mean, any donation is helpful. It'll actually help us to kind of improve some of the services that we have, especially with the Slack chat. We want to definitely be able to upgrade that. Hey, $1 is still good, man. So I appreciate that. So I'll still give you that time, man. I'll still give you that time. It's not a problem at all, buddy. Pesos. Oh, that is too funny. That is too funny. But yeah, let me know. I'm going to be ending this live stream, but I want to make sure everybody understands that contest. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer for you now. And then once I actually, end this live stream, look for it to go live. And once YouTube basically uploads it, that's when you can comment. And I will be monitoring that. So I definitely want to be able to answer any of the questions that you have currently right now in regards to that contest. So I'll give it about a minute or so for the comments to come through, just in case they are delayed. But yeah, 2,000 subscribers, this is a milestone. And I owe everything to you guys, and I was ecstatic, day one, January 1st, actually, when I started this YouTube channel. Now, the format was very different on January 1st up to March 12th. It wasn't live streaming that I was doing. I was doing a little bit of technical analysis, but also covering some of the news, that was happening within cryptocurrency. And then, the format completely changed when somebody asked me to, if I could live stream my trades. And I was like, man, that's a great idea. I don't have to sit there and try to create content or research the news and try to talk about the news, where I can just live stream this. And I was trading anyway, and why not live stream it? Yeah, dude, Cambodia, dude, I would love to. My wife is from Vietnam. She was adopted when she was young, so she doesn't really know her Vietnamese side. But my wife is from Vietnam, and one day, I definitely want to visit that whole area. Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia. Yeah, dude, definitely add me on Facebook. Definitely add us. And we do have a link for Facebook, so definitely feel free to join our Facebook group. We'd be happy to kind of get that channel growing. Any news on Ripple? I don't know. I haven't really researched Ripple yet. And Carl, I'm getting ready to end the live stream. I'm just waiting to see if anybody has any questions in regard to the contest that I talked about. All right, and I'm assuming no, considering nobody has commented asking me to clarify something. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank everybody that has clicked on that like button. I want to thank everybody that has, subscribed from day one till now. So my first subscriber, to my, what are we at now? To my 2,000 subscriber, I want to thank everybody from the first one, to the 2,000. You guys definitely have motivated me to keep doing these videos on a regular basis. And I do appreciate it with the bottom of my heart. And I'll keep doing them as best as I can. Andreas, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the 20 euros. You guys are very, 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 very generous. And Andreas, what I would like to do is I would like to add you on to Zing's his live stream, or not his live stream, but his one-on-one that I'm going to have with him. So reach out to me as well too on Facebook, and I will. I'm sorry, not Facebook. Reach out to me through my email address, and then we will go ahead and coordinate that. For both of you guys to have access to me for a half an hour and just a chit chat. Ask me any questions you want, or if you have any concerns, I'll try to address them as best as I can. Yes, follow us on Steemit as well too. And if you have a Steemit account, help us out by upvoting our video. And if you don't have a Steemit account, I highly recommend setting up a Steemit account. It's really an easy way to earn Steem, to be honest with you. You can basically do anything on Steem. Post pictures, write an article, do a vlog. On anything you can possibly think of. And build that follower base. And you're going to see that you're going to start earning Steem dollars and Steem power. It's a great way to just kind of earn some cryptocurrency on Steem and be able to exchange that if you'd like. So I highly recommend, if you guys don't have a Steemit account, to set up a Steemit account. Click on our link, find us, and follow us as well too. Andrea, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having you here, and I appreciate that comment that you do like these videos. Thank you so much. Upvoting my blog, Carl, you're awesome. Yeah, you came in right at the end, but Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays I do these live streams, and sometimes spur of the moment type of live streams as well too. So if you haven't clicked on that subscribe button as well as a post notification, I highly recommend you do that. 2,004 subscribers currently right now. I think 3,000 will be attainable, and I'm going to do a contest. For every 1,000 subscriber that we're gaining, I'm going to give back my time to everybody that's being generous, as well as the running a contest for all the subscribers, everybody that's joining this live stream. So every 3,000 I will be dedicating my time to you guys, and then I'll be looking through the super chat and and whoever's being the most generous, or I'll just pick a handful of people that are being very generous with their money, and because I definitely appreciate that. And I'll give you free access to my time as well too, where I think that's only fair. You guys are being generous with your money, as well as spreading the news and things like that, and helping this channel grow. At least I could just give back my time. Let's see what Liney's saying. I know this is geared towards other people. Yeah, you don't need to use Ripple or XRP to use Ripple protocol. Yeah, exactly. Those are two different things. Remember, XRP is a token. So XRP is not Ripple. So the banks are not putting money into XRP. They're putting money or utilizing Ripple. Carl, no need to be sorry, man. Not at all. We're only human beings. You're holding your portfolio on Ripple or XRP, still believing, hear good news to them. It's going to have a breakout. It's been stuck in this range for X amount of time, and I think I need to analyze it a little better. But it's been stuck in this range for a good amount of time. So, yeah, Scott M. I sorry about that. I do mean today, not tomorrow. I think I said tomorrow. But yeah, you guys are coming over today, so we'll drink a couple Heinekens and then do a bonfire. I know you're probably live streaming this, in the background, but yeah, don't be shy, man. Chat away. Say what's up. All right, guys. So I think there aren't any questions at all in regards to the contest that I'm running. So I highly recommend. Hopefully you guys are already looking through the videos to find out exactly how many Ethereum Classics I bought and what price points did I buy those Ethereum Classics at, and they were only purchased twice. And then the other contest is basically for you to solve a riddle, and that riddle is, I am 6 years old right now, and my brother is half my age. When I'm 50 years old, how old will my brother be? So if you can solve those, you got free access, as well as Andreas and Zen. You guys have free access to me, 30 minutes. So definitely email me. We'll coordinate that. And then Oni as well, too, because you were so generous. I'm definitely going to give you that one-on-one time. But thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate your time. On these long live streams, because sometimes they do run long. Until next week, protect those profits. Draw out your support and resistance lines. Look at that order book and let the trade come to you. Don't go FOMOing. Don't go chasing. Stay away from the hype. And have a handful of coins that you firmly believe in. And when you firmly believe in those coins, those are the ones that are actually going to do, a good amount of return. You will see the significant amount of returns from those coins, and not to play these pump and dumps that are happening all over, Bittrex, Poloniex, whatever other exchanges that are just, they're set up for pump and dump. So be very careful of that. But stick to your plan, have a plan of execution, and stick to that plan. It's when you break those plans that you end up losing money, but when you stick to those plans, you end up making money. And, the name of the game is basically, growing that account. You're not going to find the bottom, you're not going to find the top, but for you to be able to take a profit is a profit. It doesn't matter where you took that profit, to be honest with you. So lock in those profits. It's always better to wish you were in that trade than to wish you were out. Keep that in mind. Until then, until Monday, really, this is Crypto Traders. Be good, be safe, peace and love, and power to every cryptocurrency family that's out there, any members that are joining. Nothing but, utmost respect for you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe.